Incorporating cooperative learning effectively is to use a proven and research-based strategy frequently utilized by many teachers. It is powerful because it engages students in the learning.
When I made the groups, I looked at the strengths of each of the children and placed them appropriately. And it's interesting, they tend to pick out those strengths too.
Cooperative learning is very effective when there's so much information that needs to be given to the children, and you're letting each group own the information, present it, and teach it to the kids. So there's some reciprocal teaching going on too.
I use cooperative learning a lot because I have big classes and I have a huge variety of levels in my classes, from extremely high kids reading at a college level to kids who are really coming in at 4th grade. And so being able to work in partners on something that is a requirement for the 8th grade allows every child to work on the same curriculum.
Cooperative learning groups work best if they are not grouped by ability.
When we group students of low ability together, it has a minus 23 percentile point. So it's decreasing 23 percentile points. The recommendation from the research and the classroom practice is to mix your groups. Mix groups by interest, what it is that they're studying, their birth dates, the color they're wearing, but mix the groups because you'll get the most gain on cooperative learning with mixed groups.
And then you have to be ready.
Annie Fredrickson at Lance Middle School in Kenosha, Wisconsin, is teaching her students about the United States federal government. She is assisted in this activity by teacher consultant Jolene Schneider. The students are organized into cooperative groups. Each group is given an assignment to research one aspect of the government, draw a poster representing its features, and then teach the rest of the class what they learned.
One person in your group needs to be a material manager. That person is going to come and pick up the equipment. That person also at the end is going to be responsible for returning the equipment. So we have other classes using the materials. A recorder is the person who's going to write on those lines underneath the picture. So that would have to be somebody who has neat handwriting, I would assume. Artists, you need more than one artist, because while the first person is drawing a card, it takes a little time. The second artist can be drawing on the second card. And we need a reader, someone who feels like they read very well and can help identify where the answers are of your group. Somebody has to double as the speaker for the group to do the presentation that we talked about.
With such explicit directions, the groups will perform successfully.
We need to draw a picture of the people who made up the legislative branch. And draw it on the inside.
Oh, there it is. I'm the reader. Yeah, he's a reader. He's the artist, remember?
Do we have to write 1776. The court may take months to hear the arguments in a important case.
After completing their work, the groups present their posters and teachings to the rest of the class.
We did the legislative branch. It's commonly known as the Congress, and it's made up of two houses, the Senate building and the House of Representatives.
To reinforce effort and provide recognition, the students fill out their group's performance evaluation.
Tell me 2 good things you did well, 1 thing you need to improve on in your group.
At Knox Middle School in Knox, Indiana, family and consumer science teacher Jacqueline Seebach divides her class into cooperative groups of 3 to work in stations that teach measurement and equivalency.
First of all, we have 2 objectives that we want to accomplish today. Number 1 is to demonstrate that you have the ability to accurately and properly measure ingredients. And secondly, you're going to demonstrate that you have mastered the list of equivalents and measurements that we talked about a couple weeks ago. So please say your number and your group.
Each student is assigned a separate job within their group that will rotate through each of 9 stations.
8B, 9B.
Whatever number you had written down is what group you will be in. Okay? So we will start at, for example, Tyler, what is your number in your group?
8A.
Okay, so you will start at station 8 with whoever else is an 8. Who else is an 8? Raise your hand. So we have Dalton, and someone else should be an 8. Maybe just 2 of you? Okay, 2 of you. If you are an A, when we start at the station, your job will be to read the directions to your group. Okay, so are you an A, Tyler? So you will be reading the directions for you and Dalton. If you are a B, Dalton, you are a B, you will actually do what he is telling you to do, okay? And if you are a C, you will be writing down the answers for your group, okay? Now, if you only have an A and a B, you can take turns being C. Who can explain, in a nutshell, exactly what we're going to be doing today when we go to our stations? Okay, Rachel?
We will be looking at our numbers and our letters, and whatever number we have is that's what station we start at. And we'll all find our group there because we'll have the same number. And whoever has A will read, whoever will have B will do whatever the experiment or our assignment is, and C will record the answer.
Okay. And I want to mention at Station 3 there is a surprise. That is the station where you're going to be measuring liquids, and there's Kool-Aid to measure. And each of you will receive a certain amount of Kool-Aid to drink, and you may have 2 cookies there.
I think that's good.
With clearly understood instructions, the students perform effectively at the various stations.
I never let my students choose their own group. I worry about students being left out or different ability levels being grouped together, which can be a hindrance to the productivity of a group. Many times when we do lab groups, I'll have an envelope with the students' names, and I'll have lab leaders, and they choose their group out of the envelope. Chance works out fine. Or I'll do the number system, let's count down the row. Or I'll do whose birthday's closest to today, whose birthday's in January, whose birthday in February, and it works out really well. And that way I feel the students can learn to work with each other, because that's what cooperation is. It's being able to get along with everyone in class and maybe making new friendships. You never know.
Research has proven that cooperative learning groups should be small.
When we put pairs of students together, it has a 6-point percentile gain. When we put groups of 3 to 4 together, it has a 9-point percentile gain. And anytime we move into groups of 5 or larger, 5 to 7 on this chart, we're moving into the minus column, -1 percentile point.